Um, you know, we knew it would be a great game going into it. We talked about it all week. Two great football teams um, going toe to toe. We knew with their size, with their stature, with how established I consider their program to be. Coach Mendenhall's done a fantastic job in the years he's been there as a head football coach, and again, we knew it would be a physical game, and it certainly was everything. I talked to the kids at halftime, and I told them as soon as we got in the locker room, this is exactly how I told you this game was going to be, and the second half was no different. So there are no moral victories, and a loss is a loss. I give BYU credit. They made enough plays to win the football game. We'll come in tomorrow. We'll get on to Rutgers. We'll learn from this video, and it's a tough locker room right now. But our kids are they're doing what we ask on the field, off the field, and we're taking it one day at a time, one game at a time, and we'll get back to work tomorrow and get ready for this next conference game. Well, they did give up some points. I thought we put them in tough positions in terms of turnovers offensively, which is something certainly we have not done really for the most part up until this game, this season. And when I think of our defense, and again, anybody can, if a person at home tonight is going to look at the BYU Houston score and say, wow, look at all the points they scored on the defense. I mean, our defense, Derek Matthews scored a touchdown. Our defense recorded a safety. We created some turnovers. We got interception down there in the end zone. So by no means am I saying they played well. But again, what we're talking about right now within our program is playing as a team. And at the end of the day, we didn't do enough in all three phases to win this game. We made some plays, certainly on offense, defense, and even on special teams, and we blew some opportunities in all three phases as well. So again, we'll go in and watch the film. And again, I think to this point, when you look at Taysom Hill as a running quarterback, the running backs they had, certainly obviously their offensive line, the size of their line, and the experience they've got up front, and their big physical receivers. I mean, it was a challenge, and they're an outstanding team. I take nothing away from BYU offensively.
Tony, at the end, trying to force too much there, or were you set up the way you guys wanted?
When we got the ball back with the lead.
The last play there.
Oh, the last play. Yeah. No, I mean it was, he's being aggressive, and certainly felt like he had a receiver open up the seam, and he was not. So that was the end of the game.
Tony, John has he has some really impressive plays, but those are some of those, oh my God, he's a freshman plays. What do you talk to him after the game to keep him in the right mode, not to get too down?
Well, he's people here in our community are going to get to know him certainly over the next 4 years as an individual, as a person, and I think I appreciate you starting the question with that respect, because you look out there, and I think our fans, I know our coaches even forget he's an 18-year-old true freshman, and I had 4 of their coaches come over to me after the game and said, "Wow, that quarterback is special," and certainly they can be nice and say that after the win, but I felt like they were sincere. So, did he play perfect? No, I've said it every week. He's never going to, but he'll learn from his mistakes, and I see improvement in that young man every week.
Coach, what do you say to Coach Mendenhall at the end of the game? I mean, it's such an emotional game where you had so many chances, were so close to winning a game that felt like 2 games.
What did I say to him after the game?
Yeah.
Well, he's a guy I just met today for the first time, but I have followed Coach Mendenhall's career, and he's a guy in our profession that everybody has a ton of respect for, not only as a football coach but as a person. He's a guy that assistants talk about, hey, who's a guy that you'd love to work for one day as a head coach, and his name comes up often in those conversations. I know he's a great family man. I actually got to meet him right when the team got here. He and his wife Holly were walking on the turf. I met him briefly, and then we talked prior to the game, and then just after. he complimented me on our team, and I complimented him on his team. Wished him the best for the rest of the season.
Coach, I know you said there are no moral victories, but the team kind of, they made some plays on a big stage. Are you kind of proud of the way they performed, or did you like a lot of the things that they did on this, kind of big stage?
I did. I mean, I told them I'm proud of them because of how they prepared this week. There wasn't a guy in that locker room, player, staff member, coach, that didn't think we were going to win this game coming the entire week, and even for the 3.5 hours we were out on that field. So they're doing everything we asked them to do. They gave great effort, and I am proud of them, but I did let them know, and really probably didn't need to let them know there are no moral victories, because the kids understand that we're trying to win football games. We felt like we were going to win this game going into it, and throughout the game we felt that same feeling as well.
What adjustments did you make defensively at halftime to add 450 yards in the first half and then find significantly less the second?
Well, here's what I think people need to understand is you prepare to play an opponent in a week's time, you're going to change things up. We do it offensively. Our opponents always do it offensively, and you do it defensively as well during the course of the week. So then you get into a game, and in the first half, now you're going to really see what they've changed. They're not just going to show up and run the same plays they ran the week before against the other opponent. So in the first half, we see how they're blocking a run play different, how they're utilizing personnel groups a little bit differently. Just maybe a core of 6 offensive plays. Again, BYU came out throwing a little bit at the beginning and then settled down and seemed to try to pound us and run the football. So we get in at halftime, we draw up what they are doing new that we had not necessarily practiced or seen them run in all the games we broke down from this season, and we make our adjustments and go out there. So whether it's again, we're not going to drop in the sand a new defensive blitz or front or coverage at halftime necessarily, but now we tell our kids, here's what they're doing, here's how we need to fit it, play it, here's the calls I'm going to change in terms of down and distance if there's a tendency, or by personnel.
Coach, what do you think the biggest difference from the first half to the second half is offensively? What was the difference of not being able to get as many points as you had in the first half? And also, the second part of that question, did you think about putting Greg in the second half to kind of spark the offense a little bit more?
Well, we think about everything, certainly with our personnel throughout the entire course of the game. And again, I give them credit too. It goes back to his question. Obviously, they adjust a little bit defensively. I think you go back to the first half, and we scored 3 touchdowns, and I may be wrong on this, but I think our first 3 touchdowns, I want to say only one was scored by our offense. I think we had a kick return, and I want to say we had an interception. So, again, our offense, we did some good things. I thought we made some big plays, and I thought we did in the second half as well. But at the end of the day, didn't do enough to win the game.
On your special teams, Richie was able to keep flipping the field for you guys on the punt game. How important was that aspect to helping out the overall aspect of the game?
It was really important. He's a young man that I think certainly everybody knows what he means to me in our program, and he's doing a lot right now. He's kicking field goals, kicking off, and certainly he's, again, I've said this for months, I think he's the best punter in the country. And to pin teams back deep in their own territory, let our defense, the way we've been opportunistic, creating turnovers, take the field with our opponent backed up, that turns into points eventually, whether it's getting a safety or making them punt it, give it back to our offense in good field position. So those are the hidden things that you don't necessarily see all the time when it comes to special teams, or certainly the team's punter, that I think Richie Leone's doing a fantastic job of.
Coach, after BYU won, they kind of took a little bit of a victory lap. They had a lot of handshakes and stuff with fans. Did any of that bother the team or anything?
No, to be honest with you, it felt to me a little bit like we were playing in a bowl game today. It was certainly a great Houston crowd there, and then a bunch of BYU fans as well. It was a great atmosphere. No, we don't take that. I didn't even notice it. They had seemed like half that their side was their fans, and I didn't even notice it. I heard them at times, certainly cheering, but I didn't notice what they did after the game. And if they did, I certainly wouldn't think it was intentional.
Coach, I know you said that there's no moral victories, but can you kind of stress to the guys that, a lot of the goals that you set out at the beginning of the season
Well, two things to your question, and I agree with you. And what I told the team afterwards is this: one is the bowl game we want to play in, we could still play in it. And again, in 6 days, we're going to get on an airplane, fly to New Jersey, and take on a great Rutgers football team. And we've got 42 days left of this regular season, including today, and 6 games left that we're guaranteed. So we'll be on to the next one with our goals still ahead of us. And the second thing is this, what we've talked about inside our program this summer, this August, this season is something to prove. And what our guys, what I told them after the game is you don't prove anything in one game. You prove it over the course of the season. So we've got 12 guaranteed opportunities, and you earn respect and show people who you really are over those 12 games, and hopefully you get a 13th. So again, we'll come back tomorrow. I know they're taking this tough, our student athletes, our staff, and our coaches. We'll come back tomorrow and get ready for Rutgers.
Did you come into the game thinking we have to score a lot of points, or was it, just how the game developed?
No, I did not come into the game thinking way to score. I came into the game thinking we had to score more than they scored, whether we won 2-0 or 50-49. So, again, we did a couple things in terms of turning the ball over offensively that we had not done in the previous 5 games, and gave them some opportunities. Hurt our chances for success offensively in doing so, and again, I give BYU credit as well. That's why they're one of the top defenses in the country.
You were talking about Rutgers a little bit earlier, but how much do you think that this close loss will affect the team's morale going into next week?
Well, that's a good question, and that's on us as coaches, I believe. We've got to keep their morale where it needs to be, whether it's high, low, in between. I think we've done a good job as a staff of being demanding early in the week, making sure they're focused regardless of our opponent, and then as we get toward the game, backing off, making sure we're executing in practice, being positive, and making sure they're fresh and confident for our opponent, again, regardless of who it is. So our kids, it's been a unique season when you look at where we've played. Going up to Philadelphia, a lot of these young men, even coaches and staff members, never been up there before. It'll be the same for New Jersey. So, it'll be a great experience, and it's one that our kids will be looking forward to. Anything else? All right, thank you.